Jai Bharti, Namaskar. Today we will discuss about Bhagavad Gita, the cross body, the subtle body, Darwin, genetics, and the journey through 8.4 million species. Uh, in Hindi philosophy, we say that there are 84 lakh yonis, and roughly the same figure is in science also. They say 8.4 million species. That number is there. So let's try to understand this. So this universe is not merely a collection of matter, but it is a living being. It's not only mere flesh, blood, and bones. See, the modern science says that life is governed by DNA and genetics. Now let's say what does Vedanta says. Vedanta says that DNA may be the outer blueprint. What you call is a gross body. But the real driving force is the subtle body. In Hindi, it's the Sukshma Sarira. So, today, the modern biology will talk about the theory of evolution proposed by Charles Darwin, that species evolve over time through adaptation, mutation, natural selection. Life gradually transforms into newer forms. But the ancient question remains, why are living beings so different from one another? Why does one possesses compassion, another violence? Yes, tiger has violence, cow has compassion, a rat is always in emotion. So the elephant has lot of wisdom. Even dolphin has lot of wisdom. So how come one life form is different from another? And basically everything is made of all the five elements only. That is space, air, fire, water, and earth. So this is where the knowledge from Gita, the wisdom of Bhagavad Gita, it begins. So we'll refer to chapter number 14, shloka 5. Shloka is like this: Sattvam rajastama iti guna prakriti sambhavaha nibhadyanti mahabaho dehe dehinam avayam. It means that, O mighty armed Arjuna, the three gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas, born of Prakriti, bind the eternal soul to the body. Now Vedanta explains that the soul does not merely changes body, but it also carries impressions, desires, tendencies, mind, intellect, and ego from one birth to another. This traveling package is called the subtle body, the Sukshma Sarira. So, at death, the gross physical body dissolves in the five elements: space, air, fire, water, and earth. but the subtle body continues its journey. You can say, like, if there is a uh, LTE or 5G radio system, your the core, the uh, the core network and the G node B or E node B, this network is called the uh, you can say the Ishvara or Brahma, and this SIM is the Sukshma Sarira, and the mobile set is the gross body, or the Sthul Sarira. So, SIM will always move from one mobile to another mobile, and it will continue in the spectrum of under that LTE or 5G or whatever the network is. It's just an analogy. So, this subtle body, like the SIM, it continues its journey. So, in chapter number 2, shloka number 22, the shloka is वांसानि जीर्णानि यथा विहाय नवानि गृह्णाति नरोपराणि तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णा अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि. So here Bhagavan says that just as a person discards worn out clothes or old garments and put on the new ones, the soul discards old bodies and accepts new one. Very similar to this mobile, and from Apple you move to Samsung, and Samsung you move to some other like Nokia or maybe LG or whatever, but the SIM remains the same. So, just as a person, a jiva, that Sukshma Sarira, will discard the worn out garments, the old clothes, and put up new clothes. Very similar. Now, let's go back to the science. Genetics says that even a tiny alteration in the DNA coding, one can transform an entire species, and man can become by tiny alteration it can be made as a monkey. So scientifically, means theoretically at least, it can be done. So a single mutation can give results. Under what conditions, that is all, will not go in that depth. But yes, so the evolution path, it always emerges. So from fish to amphibians to reptiles to birds to organisms to, so now this is where science says that from one it goes to another. But how and why? And why does they have, some have compassion, some have intelligence, some has action, some they are very idle. Some of the snakes, they are very, very idle. Some of the animals are action oriented, some are very intelligent. How? Why? Now Vedanta it will ask a deeper question, which determines which body a soul will receive. In SIM, which SIM will receive the best of the mobiles? Maybe Apple or Samsung, whatever. So, what does it becomes from an animal to a bird, to a bird to a tree to a butterfly, maybe. They say about the adham yonis and uttam yonis, means some species we also don't like them, na? Like cockroaches. You can easily call them adham yonis. And some are the higher ones, maybe elephant, human beings. They are the higher ones. But what decides who will become what? Means the sim will have which mobile? There are 8.4 million types of mobile sets. So this is the subtle body, the sim, in the mobile analogy. So the changes within the animal species is not only merely a biological accident. It is composition of the subtle body and the accumulated karmas. Means the sanchit karma, the prarabdha karma, and the future karma, which is called the agami karma, is also there. Now the subtle structure is actually made of 24 tattvas. So these 24 tattvas are fire, the this moolbhuts, like the 5 gross elements: space, earth, air, fire and water. Then the others are the 5 means 10 indriyas, 5 karma indriyas and 5 indriyas. The 5 action of the organs of action and organs of perception. So these are the 10. Now there are 5 indriya vishayas. Those 5 vishayas like sight, smell, taste, hear. So these are the 5. So it becomes 20. Now mind, body, ahankar, which is ego, and the unmanifest or the avyakt. So this makes it 24. These are the 24 tattvas. You can say 5 are the gross elements, the moolbhut, this space, air, fire, water and earth, and the rest are the subtle ones. Now these 24 actually determines the next birth. If the consciousness, because of it becomes dull, inert, tamasic, maybe one can be a tree, maybe a plant, or maybe a snake which keeps on sleeping. It can be like that. If there is a lot of fear, restlessness, maybe bird-like tendencies or maybe rat-like tendencies will be there. If more of food, sleep, fear, reproduction, these consciousness has evolved, then animal births are more likely. And when there is compassion, discrimination, wisdom, means sattva is more, then human birth, or maybe even lot of dolphins, lot of means the higher species, elephants, many we can find many cows also, sometimes lot of dogs. We have even seen some other animals very close to, they're having that higher level, it can be visible. You can see some birds also. So here in Bhagavan Krishna, in chapter number 14, Shloka 14 and 15, he says, so the Shloka 14 and 15 of chapter number 14, Bhagavad Gita, is like this. Yada satve pravidhetu pralayam yati dehabhrit tadotma vidam lokan amalam prapadittate. 15 is Rajasi pralayam gatva karma sangishu jayate tatha pralinastamasi Mulayonishu jayate. So here Bhagavan says that when one dies in sattva, one attains higher pure lives or realms. Dying in rajas leads to rebirth among action-oriented beings. Dying in tamas leads to deluded and lower wombs or lower yonis. See, whatever examples I gave, it's just to make understand what is the difference between intelligence, that is sattva, action, that is rajas, and inertia, that is tamas. So, just to explain that. Now let's again take Darwin and Bhagavad Gita side by side. Darwin explains evolution of bodies. Bhagavad Gita explains evolution of consciousness. Genetics will explain biological mechanisms. Vedanta will explain the karmic intelligence behind these mechanisms. Science speaks of natural selection. Bhagavad Gita will speak of karmic selections. Science will observe mutations. Vedanta will observe samskaras, that is subtle impressions, which you can call the vasanas also, the desires or whatever which is still left, that the subtle impressions we have. Science studies the genetic pool or the gene pool, whereas Bhagavad Gita studies the pool of gunas. So, perhaps both are looking towards the same truth, but from different dimensions. One is only looking towards the gross elements, but Bhagavad Gita is looking both at the gross elements as well as the subtle elements. The 24 tattvas. Science will be more towards the 5 gross elements. And rest 19, it is almost, it has no clue. How one becomes action oriented, how one becomes intelligent, how one becomes sleepy, dull, means how someone is very angry. Science is not able to explain. So at least it might have come, but I do not have that particular knowledge. I have not heard about it. That how one is, even two brothers, maybe the twins, they have different this thing, though their genetic composition will almost be similar. So what is that which drives one to be very intelligent or very action oriented or very a person in inertia? So we can say the subtle body is actually the invisible software and the DNA is the hardware. See, So the karmas, gunas and desire, they keep on evolving, and accordingly the future bodies are determined. This is why the 8.4 million species are not merely biological categories, they are levels of consciousness with different gunas and different tattvas. In a broader sense, you can say that it's a 24 into 3, means 24 tattvas into 3 gunas. So these many combinations, one can easily get into permutation combinations and find how many these structures can be formed based on different gunas with different compositions. So this is actually see, Gita is not only merely evolution, it is actually it is transcendence. So in chapter number 14, shloka 20, Bhagwan says, the shloka is like this: Gunane tanatitya trin dehi deha samudbhavan janmrityu jara dukkhai vimukta amrito amritamasnute. So Bhagavan says that one who rises beyond these 3 gunas means he becomes gunatit, away from all the 3 gunas, becomes free from birth, death, old age and sorrow, that is janma, mrityu, jara and dukkha, and attains immortality. The ultimate goal of life is not merely to become a more advanced species, but to transcend the entire cycle of birth and death. So when the mind becomes silent, the intellect becomes pure and the ego dissolves. The jiva, it realizes that he is not the DNA, he is not the body, but it is the eternal consciousness or the pure Chetan. So having journeyed through countless birth and rebirth and birth and rebirth, so once one becomes gunatit, then it merges into supreme consciousness. So this is the entire theory as per Bhagavad Gita and Vedanta. So thank you. Namaskar.